I'm sitting in the glider rocking chair in the corner of my bedroom, nursing my youngest. My 2 older boys are asleep, and there is that rare peace in the house. And I look over at my husband, who's sitting on the bed, and I say for the 1,000th time since my first child was born, I want to buy all new clothes. But this time, he looks up, makes eye contact, and to my great surprise, he says, "Why don't you?" I'm Sonya. I have 3 boys, 4 years old and younger, and I am on a style journey. That moment sparked a personal style renaissance, and I have learned more about clothing and wardrobes and personal expression than I ever imagined. Do you ever feel like your closet is packed with clothes and yet no single outfit ever really feels 10 out of 10? Do you feel like the way you dress and how you present yourself reflects the best version of yourself? And if you're a mom, does it feel totally impossible to prioritize any of this? Well, stop right there, because today in this video, I am sharing 3 major epiphanies that changed everything for me, and they might just do the same for you. So if you want to go on this style journey with me, please hit subscribe. I am just getting started and I already have so much to share. I plan to dive deep into the psychology and the practical aspects of personal style. Why don't we start with why style even matters? Because I know as a mom, it's really easy to hear a little voice saying, it's not about you. Focusing on appearance is vain and superficial, and you have more important things to think about. Style is not self-indulgent. So I have a very practical point to make about this, but first I just want to say we are all children of God. We are all individuals. There's nobody like us. We are created beings, meaning we are creative beings, and how we dress and show up in the world is a means of personal self-expression. So I really feel like in this one life that we get, why not? Why not express yourself and show up and adorn yourself? I think we're meant to. But since that might be objectionable to some people, let me make a very practical point as well. All right. So this is dry shampoo. Stay with me. It's probably a brand you haven't heard of, but I want you to think about, how well do you think this works? How much do you think it costs? What do you think it smells like? I bet you had instant answers to those questions. And beside the point, you're probably right. Just to close the loop, it works great. It smells like herbs, and it was pretty expensive. So my point here is that whether we like it or not, whether we want to or not, we do make instantaneous judgments based on appearance. We are no different. Our style, what we wear, how we present, what we do with our hair, that's our packaging. And it's going to make an impression. Whether you want to show up or whether you want to be invisible or something in between, you're making impressions everywhere you go. On the checker at the grocery store, on people sitting next to you in the waiting room, on your kids' teachers at school, you are making an impression. And if you are wearing an outfit that you love, you've taken a little bit of time to put your hair together, maybe throw on a little bit of makeup or not, whatever makes you feel comfortable, the impression you're making is going to be very different than if you were all day, every day in leggings, a sweatshirt with your hair in a ponytail, just trying to get it all done. And trust me, I'm really not saying that personal style is for other people, that it's all about pleasing or impressing. Not at all. How we package ourselves, what we even see in the mirror, makes a huge impression on us, whether we leave the house or not. So last week I was sick as a dog, and there were days that I didn't change out of my sweatpants. I just put my hair in a claw clip and I slept around the house all day. And then there were days that in the morning I just made myself wash my tired face, wipe my crusty eyes, put on a comfortable pair of jeans, comfortable nice sweater, and put my hair in a tidy ponytail. In those days, I got more done. I felt better. And I'm not saying you can't rest and take sick days. I certainly did. But this new style philosophy of putting yourself together did affect my psychology, and I could observe it. And the simple truth is, and it does us no favors to ignore this reality, how we present ourselves affects everything. It affects how we're treated. It affects the opportunities we are presented with, and even how we behave, whether we're making eye contact, whether we're called to come outside of our comfort zone and interact with other people. And of course, it's not always the case in every single small situation, but I think we can all agree that when we look and feel put together, we carry ourselves differently and we engage with our surroundings differently. And all these small little shifts can really add up to a completely different life experience. And I'll stop there. I could really go on, but there's time for that in the future. Epiphany number 2, It's not weird that I don't already have this all figured out. So my style journey really did start with that little moment with my husband essentially saying, "You have my permission to buy all new clothes. Go ahead." But I quickly realized I have no idea where to start. And I had this thought like, I am 36 years old. How do I not know how to do this already? Put together an outfit and look like the people I'm watching on Instagram who are like jeans, t-shirt, belt, purse, shoes, got it done. But now I really see that most people are not operating from this place. Some of you may know Jennifer L. Scott. She wrote books on style and poise, and she's the daily connoisseur on social media. She says it hilariously in a TED Talk. Because this is so overwhelming for so many people, I think a lot of people give up and just wear exercise clothes all day, even though they don't exercise. And oh my gosh, is that so true? Look around. Everybody's in workout clothes and nobody's going to the gym. And I personally think it's like, I didn't try. Don't judge me. That's such a wasted opportunity. And that's not a judgment. This is nothing to do with other people. But I do think that culturally, we don't grow up with any sort of appreciation of the fact that style can be an expression of who you are. Unlike, say, the French. And if you haven't found this already, I'll tell you, any sort of personal style exploration seems to necessarily involve like at least a brief stint with being a Francophile. And I am no different. So I'm reading about and learning about the French, and it seems that the French value personal presentation as an art form. And that sentiment is passed down through the generations. How you present yourself is a matter of self-respect and a reflection of who you really are, the story you're trying to tell, the impact you're trying to make in the world. And to me, that is beautiful and exciting. And whether anyone else decides to adopt that sort of standard or value system or not, I want to set that personal higher standard and see what it ushers into my life. So this realization that most people don't have this figured out, it's not about comparing myself to other people, but it is a reminder when I'm looking in the mirror and I'm feeling frustrated because I really tried that day and it's not all coming together how I want it to for some reason. It's like, I'm trying, so I'm probably doing pretty great. Like, take the stress away. I look pretty fine. And that nobody is out there judging me, like looking at, did you nail your body proportions? Or is that really the right belt for that outfit? Or do your shoes and your bag work together in an interesting, cohesive, but challenging kind of way? Nobody's thinking anything like that. The fact that I'm trying and getting dressed probably gets me 99% of the way there. And the rest is just for me, of course. Also helpful to remember is that Instagram influencers who look so great in their effortless outfits spent a lot of brain power putting those outfits together. That's why they're big on Instagram. And like my husband always says, it takes a lot of work to make something look effortless. If we just stay the course and course correct along the way, the long view of this is that in 5 years, what a different wardrobe we will have. What a different relationship with our clothes and our appearance and our style we will have. It's not about getting it all right or not making mistakes. It's just going on the journey. Which brings me to my third and final point, which is style is not simple. And if you're trying to find your personal style, that might ring discouraging at first, but to me, it is liberating. It really helped me to understand that celebrities have stylists. And not only that, even the stylists struggle with these details sometimes. I love Alison Bornstein. She wrote Wear It Well. She is like the it girl of finding your style. And she talks in her book about the white button-down shirt. It's a classic closet staple. Literally everyone agrees you must have this in your closet. And yet she had her white button-down shirt just hanging in her closet with the tag still on, because no matter how she zhuzhed it and styled it and tucked it, she couldn't really make it feel like her until she started playing with the fabrication and she found that maybe cotton or something was too stiff and austere. But when she bought one in linen, she was able to feel relaxed and cool and kind of achieve the look that she was going for. I think it was on TikTok, she talks about she doesn't like high-waisted pants and how long it took her to realize that. So she's bringing in jeans and trousers and just not liking any of them before finally she realizes, I don't want my waistline up here. I don't like that, even though it's on trend, even though it's in style. And so I loved that because it retroactively made me feel much better about this epic experience I had with ordering new jeans. I was very careful about the inseam and the rise and like intellectually deciding what the perfect jeans were going to be. And yet I kept ordering them online, trying them on, and feeling like, okay, if I'm being really mindful and not bringing anything into my wardrobe that I don't love, I'm not keeping these jeans. And I would send them back. And I went through so many pairs of jeans. And my husband was like, more jeans? I just appreciated realizing that someone who literally wrote the book on personal style is also in her closet like, oh, it's because they're high rise. Style's not simple. And in the same vein, Whitney Port talked about on her podcast putting together outfits for her show, The City. For those of you who didn't watch The Strange Era of Television, The City was a show basically about Whitney Port being a fashionista in New York. And she used her own money to hire a stylist to help her put the outfits together. Like, to me, that just goes to show all these little details, when they fall into place, they really do achieve like a effortlessness, and they give off a really nice vibe. But nailing those details sometimes can be a little complicated and tricky for literally everyone, which is why my motto currently is express, enjoy, expand. It is written on my wall. It's something Alison Bornstein says just as a throwaway in her book, and I have fully adopted it. Express, enjoy, expand, because it reminds me that it's all for fun. It's all just artistic, creative, expressive, and yes, sometimes frustrating, but at the end of the day, it's a process. Even if it's not perfect, you look great. And if I can't believe that myself, I just ask my husband, how do I look? And he literally always says, you look great. You always look great. It's personal style after all. It's personal, and it's all for you ultimately. So with all that said, let's get into it. I am planning a really fun video for next week that is basically a visual journey through all the styles, a visual brainstorm to get the creative juices flowing and just tour what's out there. So be sure to hit subscribe, ring the bell so that you don't miss that. And honestly, I would love to do this together. So leave a comment, let's chat. See you in the next one.